Have you ever felt like you're trapped in a never-ending cycle of fear? Like every decision you make, every step you take, is controlled by a storyline that you didn't write? Your brain, like a Netflix drama, is filled with twists and turns, but all too often, the plotline revolves around fear. Imagine if you could take control of that drama. What if you could rewrite the script of your life and shift the narrative away from fear? What if you could be the director of your own mental drama? Well, you can. The key is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of observing your thoughts, feelings, and experiences without letting them take control of you. It's not about clearing your mind or pushing away uncomfortable feelings. It's about creating space between you and your thoughts so you can be the observer, not the reactor. Mindfulness allows you to stay present in the moment, giving you the power to shift the direction of your inner story, no longer allowing fear to hijack your plotline. Think of your brain like a movie set, with fear as the lead character, constantly trying to steer the plot in a dramatic direction. You're stuck in the background, unable to break free from the constant tension. But mindfulness changes that. It's like you're stepping behind the camera, and suddenly, you're not just the character caught in a whirlwind of fear. You're the one controlling the direction of the story. Now, let's picture this. You're about to give a big presentation at work or speak in front of a large group, and suddenly, your mind is filled with thoughts like, what if I mess up? What if everyone laughs at me? It's like the plot of a suspenseful drama, and fear has taken center stage. But instead of letting that plotline unfold unchecked, mindfulness steps in as your scriptwriter. It allows you to pause, step back, and realize that these thoughts are just that, thoughts. They don't have to control the narrative. When you practice mindfulness, you allow yourself to observe your thoughts without identifying with them. Instead of getting lost in the story fear is telling you, mindfulness helps you to anchor yourself to the present. You might notice the fear, acknowledge it, and then choose to return your focus to what's happening right now. For instance, in the midst of the presentation, you bring your attention to your breath, to your posture, or to the words you're speaking. Suddenly, you're no longer overwhelmed by the drama of the moment. You become grounded in the present, allowing you to perform with clarity and confidence. This shift doesn't mean the fear disappears entirely. It's still there, lurking in the background like a supporting character in the story. But with mindfulness, fear doesn't get to dictate the plot anymore. It's no longer the main character. It becomes just one part of the larger picture. In the grand narrative of your life, you are the director. And the more you practice mindfulness, the more you get to control how the story unfolds. When you're mindful, you start to see fear for what it is, a thought, not a truth. You realize that you can face challenges without being paralyzed by the fear of what might happen. You can take risks and step outside your comfort zone without being controlled by a narrative of failure. The more you bring mindfulness into your life, the more you realize that you don't have to be a passive participant in the fear-driven drama playing in your head. You have the power to write your own story, to steer the plotline in a direction that serves you, not your fears. By practicing mindfulness regularly, you build the mental resilience to face fear without letting it take over. The fear-driven plot that once seemed unavoidable becomes just another scene in a larger, more empowered narrative. It's no longer the story that defines you, it's just a moment in time, one that you can navigate with presence and purpose. In the next segment, we'll dive deeper into how mindfulness works and explore the techniques you can use to start taking control of your own mental drama. Stay tuned, because rewriting your narrative is just getting started. Now that you have a better understanding of how mindfulness can help you step into the role of director in your mental drama, let's dive deeper into how it works and how you can use it to disrupt the fear cycle. Fear is a powerful force that feeds on uncertainty and exaggerates the worst-case scenarios. It can make you feel like you're constantly under threat, even when there is no immediate danger. But mindfulness gives you a tool to interrupt that cycle, to break free from the mental loop of worry and stress. The brain has a natural tendency to focus on the negative. This is part of our survival mechanism. It's designed to keep us alert to potential threats. But in today's world, where we're not often in physical danger, our brain can easily become hyper-focused on emotional and psychological threats. The fight or flight response, which once helped our ancestors survive physical danger, now gets triggered by imagined fears, like a difficult conversation, a challenging project at work, or the fear of failure. Mindfulness is a way to short-circuit that response. Instead of getting caught in the spiral of fear and stress, mindfulness helps you become an observer of your thoughts instead of being controlled by them. This simple shift in perspective can change everything. When you practice mindfulness, you're not trying to eliminate fear or avoid discomfort. Instead, you acknowledge it and let it exist without letting it dictate your actions. Imagine you're walking into a job interview, and the fear of judgment is overwhelming. Your mind races with thoughts like, "What if they don't like me?" Or, "What if I'm not good enough?" Normally, this fear would cause you to feel anxious and maybe even freeze up. But with mindfulness, you can take a step back and notice these thoughts without identifying with them. You might recognize that your mind is telling you stories, but you don't have to believe those stories. You might say to yourself, "Okay, I'm feeling nervous. That's okay." You can focus on your breath, your body, and the present moment, rather than letting fear take over. By grounding yourself in the here and now, you're able to shift the narrative and take control of the situation. You realize that your thoughts are just that, thoughts. They don't have to define who you are or what you're capable of. You have the power to create a new mental storyline, one that is based on the present moment and not on fear. This is the beauty of mindfulness. It doesn't require you to get rid of fear. It just gives you a different relationship with it. Instead of allowing fear to be the villain in your story, mindfulness lets you see it as just another character. It's there, but it doesn't have to dominate the plot. The more you practice mindfulness, the easier it becomes to recognize when fear is trying to take center stage and to redirect the story in a more positive, empowering direction. One of the most powerful aspects of mindfulness is that it helps you develop a sense of self-awareness. When you become more aware of your thoughts and feelings, you're able to catch negative patterns before they take hold. Instead of reacting automatically to fear, you can pause, reflect, and choose how you want to respond. You can choose to step into your role as the director of your mental drama and rewrite the script in real time. Mindfulness also teaches you to focus on what's happening in the present moment, rather than getting lost in what might happen in the future. Fear often arises when we focus too much on what could go wrong, imagining worst-case scenarios that haven't even happened yet. By bringing your attention to the present, you take the power away from the what-ifs and place it in the here and now. This shift can be transformative. When you practice mindfulness, you start to notice that many of your fears are based on imagined scenarios, not actual reality. The more you embrace mindfulness, the more you start to realize that fear is just one part of the story, not the entire narrative. It's a temporary feeling, not an unchangeable truth. In the next segment, we'll explore how you can start practicing mindfulness in your daily life. You'll learn specific techniques to help you disrupt the fear cycle and regain control over your mental story. But before we move on, remember that mindfulness is not about trying to eliminate fear. It's about changing your relationship with it. Fear is a part of the human experience, but it doesn't have to be the main character in your life's story. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into how you can rewrite your narrative, one mindful moment at a time. Now that we've explored the power of mindfulness and how it can help you rewrite the fear-driven plotline in your mental drama, let's talk about how you can start applying mindfulness in your daily life. The truth is, mindfulness isn't a one-time fix or something that happens overnight. It's a practice, and like any skill, it requires consistency. But the good news is that even small, simple practices can have a profound impact on how you respond to fear and stress. So, how can you start incorporating mindfulness into your day-to-day routine? Let's look at some practical techniques you can use to disrupt the fear cycle and take back control over your mental narrative. One of the easiest ways to start practicing mindfulness is through focused breathing. Focused breathing is a simple but powerful technique that helps you ground yourself in the present moment. It works by activating your body's relaxation response, which counteracts the fight or flight stress response that fear often triggers. By bringing your attention to your breath, you shift your focus away from your worries and bring your awareness to the here and now. To practice focused breathing, take a comfortable seat and close your eyes. Begin to inhale slowly through your nose, letting the breath fill your lungs. Hold it for a few seconds, and then exhale slowly through your mouth. Continue this pattern for a few minutes, focusing solely on the sensation of your breath. Whenever your mind starts to wander, gently bring your attention back to your breathing. Focused breathing is effective because it helps you regulate your nervous system, reduce the intensity of fear, and regain control over your thoughts. It's like a mental reset button. The more you practice, the more natural it will become to return to your breath whenever you start to feel overwhelmed by fear or anxiety. Another effective technique is the body scan. A body scan is a mindfulness exercise where you bring awareness to different parts of your body, noticing any tension or discomfort. It helps you reconnect with your body and bring yourself into the present moment, away from fear-driven thoughts. To do a body scan, sit or lie down in a quiet space. Close your eyes and start by bringing your attention to your toes. Notice any sensations or tension in your feet. Slowly move your focus up through your body, paying attention to each part: your legs, hips, abdomen, chest, and arms. When you reach your head, take a moment to notice any tension in your face or neck. Throughout the scan, simply notice what you're feeling without judgment. If you notice tension, just acknowledge it and allow yourself to breathe into that area, releasing the tension as you exhale. The body scan helps you become more aware of physical sensations and creates a sense of calm. It can be especially helpful when fear is manifesting physically, like a racing heart, sweaty palms, or shallow breathing. By practicing the body scan, you can reset your body's response to stress and bring your focus back to the present. A third technique to try is mindful walking. This is a simple yet powerful practice that allows you to incorporate mindfulness into your everyday movements. When you go for a walk, instead of allowing your mind to wander or get caught up in anxious thoughts, focus on the sensations of walking. Pay attention to each step, how your feet feel as they touch the ground, the movement of your legs, the rhythm of your breath as you walk. Mindful walking is a great way to bring mindfulness into your day, especially if you find yourself stuck in a cycle of fear and worry. It helps break the grip of negative thoughts and shifts your focus to your body and the world around you. You can practice mindful walking anywhere, whether you're taking a walk in the park, moving from one room to another, or even walking to your car. The key is to be fully present with each step, using your walk as a way to return to the here and now. One final technique to consider is mindful listening. This practice involves truly paying attention to the sounds around you without judgment or distraction. Whether it's the sound of birds chirping, the hum of traffic, or the rustling of leaves, mindful listening helps you connect with the present moment and interrupt the cycle of fear-driven thoughts. To practice mindful listening, find a quiet space and close your eyes. Focus on the sounds around you. Try to listen without labeling them or getting caught up in any story about them. Simply hear them for what they are, sounds in the present moment. If your mind starts to wander back to fearful thoughts, gently bring your focus back to the sounds you're hearing. By practicing these techniques regularly, you'll begin to strengthen your ability to stay present and grounded in the moment. Over time, mindfulness will become a natural part of your life, helping you manage fear and stress with greater ease. You'll become more aware of when fear is trying to take over and more equipped to respond in a way that aligns with your values, not your fears. In the next segment, we'll explore how mindfulness can help you build emotional resilience and maintain your sense of peace even when life throws curveballs your way. But for now, remember that mindfulness is a tool you can use to change the story of your life. By practicing it consistently, you can shift the narrative from one dominated by fear to one guided by presence, awareness, and choice. Stay tuned as we continue exploring the transformative power of mindfulness. We've already explored how mindfulness can help you disrupt the fear cycle. And now, let's take it a step further. by talking about how mindfulness builds emotional resilience and helps you maintain your sense of inner peace, even when life throws curveballs your way. The truth is, fear and stress are not just about what happens to you. They're about how you respond to those events. Mindfulness teaches you to respond differently, giving you the emotional strength to handle challenges with greater ease. Emotional resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to handle stressful situations without letting them overwhelm you. When you practice mindfulness, you develop the mental muscles needed to cope with life's ups and downs. It doesn't mean that you'll never feel fear or stress again. It simply means that you'll be better equipped to handle those feelings without letting them take control of your life. One of the key benefits of mindfulness is that it helps you detach from negative emotions. When you're mindful, you learn to observe your emotions without becoming engulfed by them. Instead of letting fear dictate your actions, you start to see it as just another emotion, not something that defines you. This shift in perspective is crucial because it allows you to respond to fear instead of reacting impulsively. For example, when you face a challenging situation, you might feel overwhelmed, anxious, or fearful. But with mindfulness, you can take a step back and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? And why am I feeling this way? By observing your emotions from a distance, you can gain insight into why you're feeling the way you are and choose how you want to respond. This practice helps you avoid reacting out of fear and instead act from a place of clarity and intention. Another way mindfulness builds emotional resilience is by helping you develop a greater sense of awareness. When you practice mindfulness regularly, you start to notice patterns in your thoughts and emotions. For instance, you might realize that whenever you feel fear, you also start thinking negative thoughts or engage in self-doubt. With this awareness, you can begin to challenge those thoughts and replace them with more positive, empowering beliefs. Mindfulness also teaches you to embrace discomfort instead of avoiding it. Fear often keeps us stuck because we try to avoid uncomfortable feelings. But when you practice mindfulness, you learn to face those feelings head-on. You sit with the discomfort, observe it, and let it be without letting it control your actions. This ability to sit with discomfort builds your emotional resilience because it shows you that you can handle difficult feelings without being overwhelmed by them. Over time, as you practice mindfulness, you'll notice that you become more adaptable to change. You'll find it easier to handle unexpected challenges, maintain calmness under pressure, and make decisions based on clarity, not fear. Mindfulness helps you build a mental toolkit for dealing with stress so that when fear or anxiety shows up, you're not caught off guard. Instead, you have strategies in place to respond mindfully and stay centered no matter what happens. For example, when facing a crisis at work or an unexpected problem in your personal life, you can use mindfulness to stay present, focus on the solutions instead of getting stuck in worry, and maintain a sense of peace throughout the situation. Mindfulness doesn't make problems disappear, but it changes how you experience those problems. You start to see challenges as opportunities for growth, rather than obstacles that cause you to feel overwhelmed. One of the most powerful aspects of mindfulness is that it helps you build a sense of inner peace, even in the midst of chaos. Instead of letting fear dictate your actions, you become the director of your emotional drama, creating space for yourself to make choices that align with your values and priorities. Mindfulness doesn't mean you'll never experience fear. It means you'll be better equipped to handle it without letting it control your life. Remember that emotional resilience is not about avoiding fear. It's about learning to navigate it with grace and intention. Through consistent practice, you can transform your relationship with fear, creating a story of emotional strength, clarity, and peace. Mindfulness not only helps in manage fear, but also play a critical role in enhancing emotional connections, thus improve our emotional well-being and give us the tools to create the life we want. The power of mindfulness extends far beyond simply disrupting the fear cycle. It opens up a new world of possibilities for living with intention and authenticity. One of the most profound benefits of mindfulness is its ability to improve relationships. When you're mindful, you're able to be fully present with the people in your life. Instead of getting caught up in your own thoughts, worries, or fears, you can truly listen and engage with others. This enhances your emotional connection with them, creating a deeper sense of understanding and empathy. Think about how often fear or anxiety can affect your interactions. You might find yourself reacting defensively, withdrawing, or projecting your own insecurities onto others. But mindfulness helps you pause and choose how to respond. You become more aware of your emotions and reactions, and you can decide how you want to show up in your relationships. Imagine being able to listen to someone without interrupting your own thoughts or worrying about how you're being perceived. Mindfulness allows you to engage with others in a more authentic way, which deepens trust and strengthens the bond you share. This leads to more fulfilling and harmonious relationships, whether with family, friends, or colleagues. Mindfulness also contributes to overall well-being. Studies have shown that regular mindfulness practice can reduce stress, lower blood pressure, and improve mental clarity. It helps you develop a sense of balance and calm in the midst of life's challenges. When you practice mindfulness, you become more attuned to your body's needs, which allows you to take better care of yourself both physically and emotionally. By fostering a sense of inner peace, mindfulness creates a foundation for living a more fulfilled life. Instead of getting caught up in the past or worrying about the future, you begin to embrace the present moment. You learn to appreciate the small things, whether it's the taste of your morning coffee, a conversation with a loved one, or the beauty of nature. These moments become richer and more meaningful when you're fully present. Mindfulness also helps you live with intention. It encourages you to reflect on your values and goals, rather than being swept along by external circumstances or fears. With mindfulness, you become the director of your life story. You can choose the path that aligns with your true desires instead of reacting to fear or stress. You start to create a narrative of strength, resilience, and empowerment, which guides your decisions and actions. Furthermore, mindfulness allows you to let go of perfectionism. Many of us fear failure because we believe that we must always be perfect. But mindfulness teaches us to accept ourselves as we are, flaws and all. When we embrace imperfection, we free ourselves from the pressure of trying to be something we're not. This acceptance opens the door to creativity, growth, and the freedom to pursue what truly matters to us. As you incorporate mindfulness into your life, you may start to notice shifts in your perspective. Instead of seeing fear as something that holds you back, you'll begin to see it as an opportunity for growth. Every time fear arises, it becomes a chance to practice mindfulness, to learn from the experience, and to move forward with greater clarity and confidence. Mindfulness also empowers you to break free from the past. So often, we allow past failures, regrets, or traumas to define us. But mindfulness helps you release these attachments, enabling you to live more freely in the present. You start to understand that your past doesn't define your future. The more you practice mindfulness, the more you realize that you have the power to create a new story for yourself, one that is not controlled by fear, but by presence and choice. In conclusion, mindfulness is a powerful tool that allows you to transform your life, not by eliminating fear, but by changing your relationship with it. Through consistent practice, you can rewrite the narrative of your life, turning it into a story of strength, resilience, and peace. You'll build deeper connections, improve your well-being, and cultivate a sense of inner calm that can carry you through even the most challenging situations. So, the next time you feel fear creeping into your life, remember that you have the power to change the story. You are the director of your own mental drama, and mindfulness gives you the tools to rewrite the script in a way that aligns with your true self. Embrace the practice of mindfulness and step into the role of the hero in your own life's narrative. The plot is yours to shape.